So Mike Chung here with Loan Depot, sitting with Sandy Ohyama with EXP. Today we're going to talk about the importance of getting pre-qualified, or I'm sorry, getting pre-approved.
Yes.
And actually what the difference is too between the getting pre-qualified.
So we're kind of coming into buying season now, you know. Snow is melting.
Yeah.
Football season is over. The whole Taylor Swift issue is out of the way. People want to buy a house.
Yes.
So why okay, so let me ask you this. What's the difference between pre-qualification and pre-approval anyway? So a lot of people are confused about that. Can you just tell us?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So, the difference is when you get pre-qualified, what a loan officer is doing is we take a loan application.
Right.
And we are basically, we're looking at that borrower. I want to say pre-qualifying them. But what we're doing is we're looking what's stated on the loan application. And we are collecting pay stubs and bank statements.
Sure.
And we're looking at all that information, and based off of what's been provided, we're making a determination that, hey, Sandy, you do qualify for a conventional loan or a FHA loan, wherever it may be. You're ready to go.
Right.
So then if we get pre-approved, we're actually taking it one step further.
Okay.
And we're getting that documentation, and we're turning it into an underwriter.
Okay.
And we're having underwriter review it. And then the underwriter reviews that and says, okay, hey, now you guys are pre-approved or your credit approved, right? So you've been vetted now.
Okay.
And really the importance of that, especially, if you're going out shopping for a home and let's say you're in a multiple offer situation.
Yeah.
Your offer is going to stand out as well because you've already been vetted. You've already been looked at through underwriting. Really, all that we have left now are going to be property-specific items.
Got it. Okay.
I think, though, what's even more important, most important about being pre-approved, though, is especially if you have somebody who, or if you are somebody who maybe isn't sure where you stand, or let's say you're self-employed and it's a little more complicated with your income.
Right.
You might have a bunch of K-1s, right?
Sure.
Getting pre-approved and actually having an underwriter review it, there's not going to be any surprises. You know exactly where you're at.
Got it.
You know that, you have that peace of mind too that there's really nothing else that you need on your end.
Yeah.
Because it's already all been provided to the underwriter and been reviewed.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So I guess in short, pre-approval, it kind of really gives you a figure to work with, right?
Yeah, I mean, pre-approval, you're good to go.
You know exactly how much
you're
is in your piggy bank
so,
to spend.
Yeah, because you've been approved. So really, look at it this way. Half of the process is already done.
Right.
Because all of your income and assets, all of that we've reviewed and we've collected everything that we need. So now what we need to finish it is the property and everything that's specific to the property, right?
Okay.
So,
sounds good.
Once we have that, that's when we go in and do the title and the appraisal and provide all that. Now we, depending on how much time has gone by, we might have to update certain documents like pay stubs or bank statements.
How much time would you say that might be? Like if you're in the market and looking around for months or?
Yes. I mean, pay stubs, we'll have to update them if they're over 30 days old.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
I mean, your credit report though is good for 120 days.
Got
so
it.
It's not like we have to pull a new credit report every month,
Gotcha. Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, you've got time, but definitely getting pre-approved is the way to go, especially if you are in a more complicated situation.
Okay.
I'll even have some times where, say I have a first-time home buyer and, I know that we're not going to get qualified right now.
Okay.
Sometimes I still like to put them through the underwriting process. Just that way we have like a really specific roadmap for them. We can always look at, and I guess really when I say that, it really depends, because if it's a credit issue, then I'm not going to go through that situation. We'll look at the credit and determine what it is. But yeah, definitely pre-approval though can be a really strong tool for somebody who's shopping.
Right. So how long do you think that pre-approval lasts though? Let's say you're pre-approved this week.
Yeah.
How long can you carry that piece of paper around with you and keep looking? You think it is valid to
So it's going to be good. Yeah, no, it's going to be good. That pre-approval will be good for 90 days.
Okay,
and
90
we'll
days.
Have,
that's pretty fair. Yeah.
But I mean, we're going to update things as it goes along.
Sure.
Right?
Okay.
So, yeah.
It's good to know.
I mean, we don't have to keep going back in underwriting.
Right.
But it definitely is a good tool to have. Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, from your perspective, if you were, let's say, representing, actually even from both the buyer and a seller, if you have a buyer, and I know a lot of agents have talked to, the lender and be like, hey, like, is there anything I need to know?
Exactly.
Are we going to have any
Right.
hurdles or obstacles
Sure.
with this, So that also gives you as a buyer's agent knowing, hey, I'm about to spend the next X amount of weeks going out and showing homes. It's really investing into this client.
Sure.
It's good to know that they're solid.
Oh, for sure,
we've
yeah.
vetted and,
I mean, definitely.
and even as a listing agent, even more so, right?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
That
we love people who come with money in their pockets. Yeah.
And I used to say that a lot too. Being pre-approved, it's almost as being a cash buyer. Like you're solid, you're good to go.
That's
right?
true.
There's not going to be that surprise that.
I think so
that
too.
outcome
Yeah,
comes up.
especially if you find that exact house too. Like you're in the process, and one day you just run into this house, and you're already ready to go. Whereas I mean, if you're just starting at that point, you could actually miss out on that opportunity.
Absolutely, and it does give a lot of flexibility with turn times for the closing.
Yeah,
Because
that's
again,
true, too.
we're halfway done. So
True.
I mean, all we've got to do is property specific things, and we can get us closed even faster if need be, right? So
Good to know.
Again, that's also really good if you're going in and the seller wants a really fast closing, and again, multiple offer situation.
Sure.
You can go in and be really flexible with your time frames.
Okay, let me ask you one more question,
Sure.
though. So for the person who's actually getting pre-qualified, what do they need to do? Because you guys do most of the work, right? They bring in the pay stubs, the tax returns.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are, have an apprehension about, it's like, oh, I'm a little bit nervous. This is going to take a lot of time from me. Is that true, or is that like?
Yeah, a lot of people. So we're going to have our basic stuff that all lenders are going to request, right?
Okay.
I mean, right off the bat, we're always going to ask for most recent pay stubs.
Sure.
We're going to ask for, W-2s from the previous year's tax
Right.
returns. We don't always need it depending on what loan we're using. We might not always need all those items, but we'll always request that stuff. Now, if you're self-employed, we're going to ask for even maybe more additional items.
Gotcha.
Right? We ask for, and this for everybody, we're going to ask for most recent 2 months bank statements.
Right.
Because we want to see where the funds are coming from, if they're
Right.
acceptable source. So those are things we're going to ask for typically even for pre-qualification.
Okay.
So then to get pre-approved, we already have the information of the documents. Which is now a matter of just handing it to the underwriter to review.
Got
right?
it. Okay.
What's great though this day and age, especially with Loan Depot, a lot of that stuff we do digitally. So while I'm taking a loan application, I can digitally verify my client's assets. I don't have to actually get bank statements from them.
Oh, wow.
Same thing with income. While I'm going through, I can digitally verify their employment income. And so, times have changed a lot to where it's made it a lot more convenient on the client as well as on us, because there's not this downtime of waiting for that information. I can literally with a click of a button verify
so I can't just
income.
make up a number and tell
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
Got
But I can verify income, assets, and employment,
Right.
while
Good to
I'm
know.
getting somebody pre-qualified. So
Awesome.
yeah, it makes it super simple.
Good. So bottom line is?
I mean, definitely get pre-qualified, but getting pre-approved is fantastic.
I think so too.
Especially if you are thinking, because that's the whole point of this. It really was.
I think so too.
Walking into the buying season.
Yes.
You should 100% look at doing something
I think so
now,
too.
and why not? You're just prepared.
I think so too. I mean, so many times people walk in and they're like, we ask them, are you pre-qualified? Have you been pre-approved? And they have this blank look on their face.
Right.
And, it's just something that you're going to have to go through anyway.
Sure.
So just get it done.
And I can see, especially for somebody who's never been through the process,
Exactly.
it being intimidating.
Yes,
right?
very much so, yeah.
And I think from my experience when I've worked with first-time home buyers,
Yeah.
they're not so much intimidated of gathering the documents, right?
Yeah.
Most people have that easily available.
Sure, it's not, yeah.
I think they're more intimidated of like, am I not going to qualify?
Exactly.
Right? And
Yeah.
a lot of times, not only do they qualify, but they're actually in a better position than they
Right.
think they are.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I think that could be is that mental hurdle sometimes of not wanting to be disappointed.
Exactly.
Is the challenge.
Right.
But yeah, I always think it's best even if you're thinking about a year from now to start early. But if you're thinking about buying in 2024,
Yes.
definitely
For sure.
I would recommend jumping into that now and get pre-approved. call Sandy. We'll take care of everything.
Sounds good. Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Sandy.